Hi and welcome to the CWO channel. For this video I have a very compelling account. In fact, it's two accounts or two sightings of the British Bigfoot, or as we call it here, or it's been called for generations, the woodwose. To be honest, up until pretty recently I really doubted that Sasquatch Bigfoot could live here in the UK. We are a small island, we have quite a lot of people. We do not have many extensive forests, we don't have the vast wilderness spaces of North America or of Siberia or Africa or China or anywhere else where these large bipedal primates are sighted. But recently I have become convinced that indeed they are here, that they have not gone extinct, that Bigfoot lives here, or in British vernacular, woodwose lives here. And there's a couple of reasons really. I mean, this witness testimony is to me authoritative and incredible. It's two sightings he had at different times. But it's also something I will reveal soon about my research into the sightings. I found something corroborating. I found an interesting detail that to me suggests very, very real possibility of a biological animal living here in the UK, a large bipedal primate. It's something that seemed incidental, but just joining the dots, it lended very strong credence to some of the famous sightings that have made the papers over the last few years. I will brush on that in a later video, but I'm going to be setting up a Patreon. I do put effort into these podcasts and videos, and yeah, the very tantalizing thing I found out I'll probably put on Patreon, because it took research and it took effort. But again, from what I described, you can join the dots yourself. Why I do think these sightings are real and compelling. But let me get into tonight's episode as I'm recording this, and let me read to you David's account. David, I got in touch with him online. It was via one of those solo camping YouTube channels where a man in Devon, where I'm from, was having Bigfoot activity. He didn't know it was, or appeared to know it was, but we're talking about rock throwing, feeling uneasy, footsteps around his camp at night, and just getting out of the place. And this was one of, I think, 3 videos of solo campers. Another was, I believe he was around the South Downs area. And this guy, I'll do a video. I need to do a video on this because he got everything. He got rock throwing, wood knocking, vocalizations, stomping, and even trail camera captures, which I don't know why they've not become bigger news. He himself just put it down to, trespassers in this private woodland. But this is a shooting woodland. This is somewhere where you are not going to trespass, because even in England there are bullets flying. But that's for another video. Let me read you David's account, his sightings. It's fascinating because David was in the army, and that lends some credence to his observational skills. And then the other sighting was when he was working a civilian job. But let me read you his account. So, as I said, this comes from David in Devon, who lives in Torquay. Okay. I was made to sign a declaration of some kind as soon as I returned from exercise in Staffordshire by my platoon commander to not be able to talk about it, which I didn't think much about at the time because I thought it was a joke. It wasn't until years later, roughly 10 years ago, that I started getting into the phenomena, watching shows like Finding Bigfoot, among other Bigfoot documentaries, and some which were talking about them being in the UK. And I was seeing pictures and videos showing this. It then clicked, and I thought I'd love to see them while out camping, but to be honest, I never really thought about it. I'd hear noises and joke about it being Bigfoot with whoever I was camping with, but never thought it would actually be Bigfoot. Then going to work one morning around 3 to 3:30 a.m., approaching Howden on that long straight before the speed camera that doesn't work anymore, before you get to the garage at the top of Howden Hill. Yes, on that long straight, just as you come around the corner, there's banking on your left and usually deer roaming at the side of the road. And on your right is the middle verge that is trees going towards Exeter Way. I'm trying to paint you the picture as best I can. So I had to rub my eyes as I could see crossing the road about 100 yards in front of me a very large dark figure. It looked in my direction. Within a second or two, it disappeared into the middle verge like it glided into there. I slowed down as I got close to where it went, but unfortunately, a car was behind me, so I couldn't stop or go slow enough to have a proper look. I did stop at the garage further on to get fuel and think about turning around to see if I could spot it on the other side, but thought, nah, it will be long gone by now, and I've got to get to work as I had deliveries starting in Penzance. The big dark figure was Sasquatch shaped and had the gait of one, how it moved, but it was slimmer than the one I saw in exercise years before that was around 7 to 8 feet. This one was 10 to 11 feet. I judged this by the size of my vehicle. Its height was roughly twice my car's height, or twice my height, and I'm 5 foot 10 inches. I couldn't make out his facial features as it was so dark, but the one I saw in the army through my SA-80 scope, it was your classic patty looking Sasquatch, looking a lighter brown because the sun shone on its fur that kind of glistened. It was watching deer in the next field from the woodline trees. We were tabbing past that woodline the very next day, and those woodline trees or bushes were a couple of inches taller than me. The Sasquatch I saw, I could see its chest above these trees, which automatically made me think what I saw was around 8 feet. But at the time I thought it was a test or a joke. But how could it be if they wanted me to sign something? So I couldn't talk about it. So there we go. That is Dave's account. That is Dave's account of 2 sightings. Very, very interesting. This is an army man. He's seeing a lighter brown Sasquatch that looked like Patty on training in Staffordshire. And we know there are sightings in Staffordshire, Cannock Chase in particular. And he has to sign an NDA to say he's not going to talk about this. He's thinking this is a joke, or it's something they do in training, like get some guy in a monkey suit. But yet they're saying you can't talk about this. Then years later, he's now a delivery driver, and he's coming up through Howden Forest, which is a fairly large forest that I remember as a child driving past it. And as a teenager, I actually worked in a bike shop at Howden Forest. And, you know, as a kid, it looked vast to me. It is fairly large, and he's driving up Howden Hill. It's dark, 3 a.m., middle of the night, really, and a very large, even by American standards, 10 to 11 foot Sasquatch walks in front of his vehicle and crosses the road. These are incredible accounts, and the thing is, I know there's more out there. So if you're out there, please get in touch with me, put a comment on the channel, or you could email christianwildfoodbushcraft@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your account. I think they're here. I pretty much know they're here at this point, short of really finding any solid evidence, myself. But I think there's a lot of people that have seen them or seen or experienced vocalizations or other evidence, but they're not saying. Dave went on to tell me that he knows people in villages around where he lives that have walked around the corner and come face to face with a Bigfoot. So they're here and people are seeing them. Please let me know. I think part of the problem is people in the UK, they don't know what they're experiencing. They're hearing wood knocks, rocks are being thrown, maybe they're hearing screams and vocalizations, and I guess because of our folklore here and people aren't aware of Bigfoot or think it could even live here, that they just say, you know, that woods is haunted, or they ascribe it to something else. But the more videos I watch, the more I read, the more accounts, the more I'm convinced is we have regular Bigfoot activity here, and we just need those stories to come out. So please do get in touch with me. I will not judge you in any way. I will listen to you, and if it's a good account, I'm going to believe what you're saying. Obviously, we'll make a sound judgment about it. But if I hear the kind of things that Dave's told me, if I hear the kind of things I've been hearing on these videos, then I'm going to be able to tell you that you encountered a Bigfoot. Not in the wilds of Washington or California, but right here in the UK. So please do like, share, and subscribe. There are going to be many more videos about UK cryptids, big cats, and many more videos about the UK Bigfoot. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the CWO channel.